We begin, though, with a historic day this week for NATO.
Let me start by welcoming Finland as the newest member of our alliance.
Finland officially became a member of NATO on Tuesday. It was the fastest accession process in the alliance's history. The move is a clear setback for Russian President Vladimir Putin, and the Kremlin is threatening countermeasures, warning it will bolster its forces at the 1,300-kilometer border with Finland. Roy Eriksson is Finland's ambassador to Canada. Ambassador, it's good to talk to you again.
It's a pleasure being here.
So the country, Finland has made it into NATO. What does your country gain strategically by now being part of this alliance? How do things change?
I think the most valuable thing is that we are part of the decision-making institution concerning security. And being at the table, having our voice heard on issues that concern us. And then, of course, we are now part of the alliance, and we can then give our input to the planning of how to best defend the alliance. And especially now I'm talking about the northern part of the alliance, or the northern flank.
How do things change there on that northern flank? Because, you know, the sort of the headline was that the border with Russia for the alliance is now doubled, and half of that is of course, the Finnish border. You've always been vigilant there. How do things now change along that border now that you're part of NATO?
I would say that NATO is a lot stronger because armed forces are very strong. We have, of course, the capability to work under Arctic conditions. And we're happy to share this knowledge also with our partners. And there have already been some exercises, but I'm sure that there will be even more in the future.
As Russia's posture got more aggressive, we've seen NATO put battle groups into like the Baltic states and Poland and places like this. Is that something you see in Finland's future? Would that be a desirable thing now that you're officially part of NATO?
Well, we'll see. First of all, we have to kind of redraw the plans on how to defend the alliance. And as I was alluding, our defense forces are very capable and very strong. We'll see if there is a need, if the alliance sees that strategically it would be valuable to have that, but that remains to be seen. So far, I would say that the situation with the Baltics, they are very vulnerable because of the geographic nature of where they are. We have a region that is more easy to defend. So we'll see. It is down to the negotiations, what the alliance wants from us. And of course, it's something that we will listen to and see what it brings.
Right, but this isn't something that Finland is keen to see. I know you have a very robust military tradition in your country, but you wouldn't necessarily be eager to have something like that there. It's not a requirement at this point, you think?
No, we play according to what is best for the alliance. So if the alliance would see that there would be benefits from it, because there could be also, I just read that Russia had said that should there be any NATO troops on the Finnish territory, they would have to take countermeasures. So you have to balance it out, what works best for the alliance.
How do you anticipate Russia will respond to this? I know there is a lot of provocative language that comes from the Kremlin, you know, around your plan to join NATO. Have you seen any sign, or do you anticipate any sign of military mobilization? Because they do have their hands full in Ukraine at the moment. What kind of reaction do you anticipate?
Well, at the moment, yes, you're quite right that they are very occupied with heavy fighting that is going on in Ukraine, and actually there are fewer Russian troops at close to us than before they attacked Ukraine, and there isn't really a big change in that sense that Finland, being member of the European Union, was seen as an unfriendly nation already. Right. So when we joined NATO, we were just okay. I saw that the Russian embassy had tweeted that we are now a legitimate target for nuclear missiles. So I think it's mostly posturing. We just have to see how they come to terms with the new reality. And you have to remember, this is something they a course on themselves.
But you mentioned nuclear weapons. I mean, the Kola Peninsula, which is near Finland, contains the largest concentration of nuclear weapons in the world. Now that you're part of NATO, I mean, do you have to step up your monitoring of activities there? Are you concerned about any increased threat from that particular detachment of these weapons?
We are not concerned, but of course, having good weaponry or defense systems is always helpful. And that is one reason that we already 2 years ago made a deal that we will upgrade our Air Force. We will buy the F-35 fighter jets, and the first planes will come in 2 years, and they will be stationed in the northern parts of Finland, which is then covering also the surveillance of the Kola Peninsula.
You wanted to come into the alliance side by side with Sweden, and Sweden's membership is being held up in large part because of opposition from Turkey, where Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov was visiting today. I mean, do you anticipate that Sweden will be able to join in the near future? And now that you're a full member, can Finland lobby harder and pressure Turkey more to accept Sweden's application?
Well, our first act as a member was to give over the ratification of Swedish accession. And of course, yes, our being member of the alliance is not complete without Sweden being a member, because it just makes sense when you look at the map that if Sweden is a full member, then NATO has a lot stronger position in Northern Europe. And I am quite optimistic that they will become members sooner than later, because it's in the interest of everyone, even Turkey.
But you know, the Secretary General Stoltenberg has said that Turkey has some legitimate security concerns when it comes to Sweden joining. I mean, is that just the Secretary General being political with his membership? Do you agree there are some legitimate concerns there? How do you overcome that?
Well, we had signed in Madrid at the NATO summit a trilateral kind of instrument to have a dialogue, Sweden, Finland and Turkey, on the security concerns. And one of them is that Turkey considers that Sweden is too lenient on terrorism issues, which I don't underwrite. Sweden actually has changed their laws regarding terrorism, and that comes into force in June. So I think that takes a big obstacle away from joining NATO.
So how quickly do you think Sweden could be in? What's your sense of time?
I'm quite optimistic, and I think that they will be members when the NATO summit takes place in July.
Okay. Ambassador, it's great to talk to you again. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.